Think you're just bad at standardized tests? In the next few minutes, I'll show you why the MCAT may not be the problem. If you've always been a high-achieving student, but the MCAT is wrecking your confidence, this video is for you. Let's talk about hidden ADHD, masked learning issues, and how to finally get the accommodations you may have needed all along. As a tutor, I've seen this pattern too many times. Brilliant students who've never struggled in school start preparing for the MCAT, and suddenly, everything feels harder. They're burning out, they're doubting themselves, and they don't know why. In many cases, it's because they've been masking hidden diagnoses for years. Masked diagnoses are things like inattentive ADHD or mild learning disabilities that high-achieving students push through for years. These students don't fall behind, they just work harder. They develop extreme coping strategies to keep up. Color-coded planners, all-nighters, obsessive perfectionism. It works until it doesn't. And for many, the MCAT is where it all unravels. These aren't students who suddenly got anxious. The MCAT is a timed, high-endurance, 4-section test with nearly 8 hours of sustained focus required. If you've got hidden attention deficits or a processing speed issue, it's going to show up here. And it can look like burnout, anxiety, or a drop in performance. But often, it was something deeper that was never evaluated. If you have a condition that interferes with focus, reading rate, information processing, or stress regulation, you may qualify for MCAT accommodations. That includes ADHD, anxiety disorders, learning disabilities like dyslexia, and processing speed issues. Plenty of students think they can qualify because they've never had an IEP or 504 plan. But I've seen students get accommodations with no school history at all, just the right documentation from the right kind of evaluation. To get accommodations approved, the AAMC expects more than a diagnosis. You need a comprehensive psychological evaluation that includes data-backed evidence of how your condition affects test performance. The report has to be recent and written by someone who knows what the AAMC is looking for. This part matters. I've seen students get denied because their psychologist used the wrong tests, didn't include detailed score analysis, or wrote the report like a therapy letter. That's why I always send my students to Dr. Bryce Gibbs and Associates. Their reports are written specifically for testing accommodations, and they know exactly what the AAMC wants to see. Most students don't realize how long the process can take. Between scheduling, testing, and waiting for a report, you could be looking at 2 to 4 months with a typical provider. BGA is one of the few practices I've seen that offers fast scheduling, efficient testing, and quick report turnaround without compromising quality. That timing alone can make or break an MCAT cycle. An approved MCAT accommodation can carry forward. If your evaluation is done correctly, it can be used to support accommodations in medical school, on STEP exams, and beyond. This is a long-term strategy, not just a one-off test boost. I can't tell you how many students I've worked with who said, I just get nervous on tests. Then they got evaluated and found out they had inattentive ADHD or dyslexia or a working memory issue. They weren't weak. They were misdiagnosed or never diagnosed at all. If this sounds like your story, don't wait until your test date is 2 months away. Start the evaluation process now. Work with someone who understands masked diagnoses and knows how to write for AAMC. I always refer my students to Dr. Bryce Gibbs and Associates. They've helped more of my students get approved than anyone else I've worked with. If you found this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for more test prep and accommodation insights. Until next time, be well.